The Silence Before Midnight, Episode 6, The Call That Hasn't Happened. There's a difference between remembering the past and hearing the future. One is painful, the other unforgiving. Because the past can be denied, but the future waits. And no matter what you do, it arrives. Because now the system wasn't just recording events, it was ahead of events. And that meant one thing. Someone knew what was happening, and someone knew what was coming. The file sat on the screen, untouched, unopened, labeled simply Episode 6. Kojo stared at it for a long time, but deep down he already understood the risk. Once you hear something like that, you can't unhear it. And if the future is already written, then what does that make you? A witness or a participant? His hands moved away, slow, careful. He clicked. The audio loaded instantly, no delay, no buffering, like it had been waiting, ready. The waveform stretched across the screen, complete from beginning to the end. Kojo pressed play. At first, there was silence, not empty silence, but heavy silence. The kind that feels like something is about to speak. Then, a sound. A faint hum. The studio, his studio, the same room he was sitting inside at the moment, recorded before it happened. Now, Kojo's chest tightened because the details were exact. The same low bars from the console, the same distant vibration from the air unit, even the slight tap of the decks, as if someone had just shifted their weight. Then, he heard it. His own voice, calm, professional, on air. Good evening, dear listeners. He froze because that was his opening line. The same opening line he used every night. But this time, he hasn't said it yet. The recordings continued. Everything unfolded exactly as it always did. The intro, the tone, the rhythm. Perfect, precise, unavoidable. Then, 11:57. A soft beep, an incoming call. Kojo leaned closer because now he wasn't just listening, he was waiting. Waiting to hear what had already been decided. The click, the line opened, and then a voice. But this time, there was no disguise, no distance, no unfamiliar tone. The caller didn't hesitate, didn't hide, didn't pretend. The voice said, Kojo, don't pick up the call. Kojo's heart stopped because the voice was his own voice, not similar, not close, the exact same voice. Him speaking to himself from a moment that had not happened yet. Kojo checked his time. It was 11:30. The recorded Kojo on air responded, confused, careful, like the way he always did. He said, "Who is this?" The caller answered immediately, "Oh, you already know." Then there was silence, short silence, heavy silence. Then the voice continued, lower this time, urgent, like someone trying to stop something inevitable. "You have to walk away this time, Kojo." Kojo's breathing became uneven because those words, they meant something. Something he hadn't fully remembered yet, but was getting closer to remembering. The recording played on. The Kojo on air hesitated, then asked, "Walk away from what?" And that's when everything changed. Because the voice, the future voice, did not answer immediately. When it did, it wasn't calm anymore. It was breaking, like a man trying to hold something together and failing. It said, "Walk away from the junction." Kojo's chest tightened again. The same words again. The same place. The same night pulling itself back into focus. The recording continued. Relentless. The voice whispered, "You didn't stand there. You made sure no one else stopped." Kojo's hands went numb because now the story he had been piecing together was shifting. This wasn't about doing nothing. This wasn't about hesitation. This wasn't about fear. This was something else, something worse. The recording didn't stop. It went deeper. The voice said, "You saw him breathing." Kojo shut his eyes, but it didn't help because the voice followed him. You heard him, and then you chose to leave. A long pause, and then the sentence, the same one. But this time, it wasn't a warning, it wasn't a confession, it was a verdict. May it never be said that we stood knees deep in a river but died of thirst. The audio cut. Silence filled the room. Kojo didn't move because now the truth had shifted. He hadn't just failed to act, he had decided not to. And somewhere in that decision, something had been sealed. Something that was now coming back. And as Kojo sat there, trying to breathe, trying to think, trying to understand, the studio clock flickered 11:56. Then 11:57. Real time, not the recording. Now, present, alive. The line blinked, an incoming call. Kojo stared at it because now he had a choice. The same choice, the same moment, the same line between action and silence. The voice in the recording he just played had warned him, "Don't pick up the call." But the line kept ringing, steady, patient, waiting. And in that moment, Kojo realized something terrifying. This wasn't just a story unfolding. This was a test repeating. And whatever he did next had already been recorded. This, my friends, is our time. I'll catch you on the next episode. Remember to follow this page for more stories such as this.